Hello and welcome back to the Ned's Declassified podcast. As always, I am Jacob.
And I am Kirk. Today, this was the 12th episode of the second season of the Great Ned's Declassified. This episode pertaining to asking someone out and also recycling.
Yep. Yeah, two very different things.
Very different things. Overall, it was just, I would say, a middle-of-the-road episode. That's my, takeaway.
I mean, I would say overall, the first half is way better than the second half.
Way better? Yes. Second half was weak.
I didn't really like the second half that much.
Weird topic, I'd say.
I think that topic could have been done better.
It could have been done better. Yes.
Like, they didn't really talk about recycling.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in the second half of the episode, I think. But I think we have more. I think we will have more to say about that part of the episode. Probably. That's my guess.
Maybe. Yeah.
We'll see though.
But yeah, let's jump right into the first part. Asking someone out. Definitely not a thing that I did in middle school. Although I did get asked out in middle school.
Didn't you get a kiss or no?
I did get kissed for the first time in middle school as well. That also happened. The kiss was like random in the hallway by a girl that like I had. She was in like 7th grade art with me.
Are you ready to call that a platonic kiss?
I mean, yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I was like, whoa.
A friend kiss?
I didn't expect it at all. Did not expect it. But I mean, I couldn't really see signs back then. You know, I didn't really understand girls at all.
Well, no display of affection before or after the kiss. Is that correct?
That, as far as I remember, yeah. Well, there was probably random shit.
I just at the time.
Yeah, I couldn't in my 7th grade boy brain. I couldn't really pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I got asked out also in 7th grade by a girl that I had a language arts with.
Wow. Language arts. That used to be a class.
I said no.
Do people still have language arts class in like elementary school?
I don't know. Maybe they just call it English now.
I don't know. That's a good question. Do they call it English?
What else would they call it? Grammar?
I don't know. Yeah,
literature.
Literature. No, it's probably English.
I mean, I know that there was also, at least in my middle school, there was also a reading class that was different from language arts.
Language arts sounds like a goddamn Harry Potter class.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a badass name.
Oh,
honestly.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying it's great.
Yeah,
I am for it for sure. No, I wasn't asked out at all in middle school, and I didn't ask anybody out. That's for damn sure. So. Yeah. Never had any. I don't think I had a girl kiss me. Not a man either, I don't think, in middle school. No. Didn't happen.
Neither.
I'll go on the record saying that.
Middle school is a weird time, dude. But yeah, they take it head on. They make it seem like everyone's asking everyone out, which maybe is the case.
Yeah, everybody's randy.
I don't know if we're good gauges for this, honestly.
I don't think so. I think that we're probably not. But
the thing is, though, most of the people we hung out with were pretty much the same as us.
I'm saying we represent a strong, large section of the populace. I think a lot of people don't. A lot of people are involved with no relationships in middle school. That's what I think.
I think that a lot of the time, too, they're kind of like fake relationships. They're not real relationships, you know.
I'm going to go ahead and say 100% nothing comes of any middle school relationships long term. That's what I'm going to say.
Except for like a random one, like 1 in a million shot. You're like, yeah, we were middle school sweethearts, so we ended up together. And, you know, they like chain smoke together and like get drunk in basements.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that was more of a thing back in the day. Maybe it's more of a thing in other countries. I don't know.
Maybe. But the first thing we see in this episode is the curly-haired bully guy trying to ask Missy out, and he's sweating like a dog.
Yes, he is. He's very nervous. Ned's tip is, I think, what does he say? He says to practice what you're going to say, yeah? So you don't freeze.
Yeah, that's tip number 1.
Which Ned freezes himself later in the episode.
He does do it later on, but that's because he's caught off guard with how he's having to do the asking out, you know?
That's right, but that's why this is also technically a bad tip, because it's kind of like a fake it till you make it sort of a tip, you know?
Yeah.
He's not saying actually have confidence. He's saying practice the thing so you can just do it, you know. But if anything, like you said, if anything catches you off guard, that rote thing that you've memorized, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be convincing. And that's a
Yeah,
tip.
I mean, it's definitely not a long-term tip because, like, it's not going to work. You can't recite everything you're going to say all the time.
He's not
You got to be
fixing,
able to have a.
Yeah, he's not fixing.
You got to be able to
root.
have a conversation with someone. You can't just not talk to them.
Right. Yeah, and I don't
Like, what's he going to do on the date? He's going to rehearse everything he's going to say. He just ignores whatever she gives him.
Listen, we know this. You know this. I know this. All right, Ned's a shifty motherfucker. He is only
shifty.
interested in what he's interested in, and he's going to obtain his goals by any means necessary. Okay? So,
Yeah.
that's...
Well, I also think with this tips, I mean, we haven't seen it, yet, but I think he's swindling some of these people. I think that there might be some cash being thrown his way for some of these tips.
You think that he's like...
Especially for these kind of tips. Dating tips, that's high risk, high reward,
We haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I can't verify that, but there's a rumor that Ned is extorting people for tip money.
Like, why else would Gordy be Ned's friend other than that Gordy's getting a cut for different things that he's telling
Gordy's
Ned
definitely
in his
the
ear?
muscle in the operation.
Gordy's got some real good shit in these two episodes as well, by the way.
He's holding kids up by their ankles, like giving them into the toilet, like
Yeah, fucking
Swirly
swirlies, hardcore.
yeah.
You ever got a swirly in your life?
No, and I've never heard.
That sounds
anyone,
like
I've never heard any.
like a traumatizing.
I've never heard
event.
any reputable claim of anyone getting one in any school that I went to either. Thank God.
Me neither. No, that would be a nightmare, dude. Can you imagine?
Yo, he got a Jenkins got a swirly.
Yeah, you look over him, he's soaking wet.
It would be
Stinks
obvious
like
too,
shit.
right? If it happened, like no one would
Yeah,
not
you'd
know.
be soaking wet from like the shoulders up, and that's it.
Yeah, with like gross smelling water, probably.
Yeah, depending on whether the toilet was flushed or not.
I mean, toilet water doesn't smell good. I'm sure, even if it's been flushed.
Man, you know what was also weird? In middle school, I remember our bathrooms not having doors on them. Was that a thing in middle
What?
schools? Like the stalls did, but the bathroom itself, I'm pretty sure did not have a door on it.
Wait, what do you mean the stalls did, but the bathroom itself? You mean the bathroom
Like
to
to
get
walk
into the
to
zone
walk into the
was
room.
open?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that's
open,
plausible. I think I
free-flowing.
could. Yeah. That's fine. I don't.
I
see any
assume
problem
because
with
they
that.
didn't
The
want
stall's
kids
all that
doing
matters.
dirty shit in there.
As long as you have a stall door, you're good. What the fuck? Who cares?
What about the
other-
urinal? Someone could peek in there and you're pissing on the wall.
You want an enclosed, sealed room with a single urinal in it to piss in?
No, what I'm saying is that
You had
any
dividers,
passerby,
right?
any passerby coming down the hallway is able to see your back as you're taking a piss. It's just weird.
I guess it depends, like, because I'm thinking you have a door, you have the open door.
Depends on the angle.
And yeah, the angle is like you walk in, you go around a corner maybe. You didn't have a corner, I guess.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just remember it didn't have a door.
In this intro scene, the British kid that always wears the same black suit, he really looks like an Amish person, the way that he's dressed. But he's back.
Yeah, he is.
The kid that's not British, the kid that's feigning being British, but the gang is back.
not the Harry Potter one either. The one that originally had beef with
Yes.
with Cookie, who's from Ohio.
Well, we never found out
it's
if the
such
Harry
a-
Potter kid is actually British or is faking being British. I'd like to
That
think
is
that
true.
he's
He-
actually being British because it's too much of a coincidence to have three people trying to fake being British. That'd be crazy.
You think so? You think he
Two is
You think he's actually English, but he's just like a really big like pothead? By that I mean big Potter fan.
I think that he's actually a wizard. I think in the lore,
You're a wizard, Harry.
I think in the universe Ned exists in. is-
Happy Christmas,
like,
Harry.
I think this is the universe that Harry Potter universe exists in, and this is just what America in the Harry Potter
okay.
universe is.
I think I'm down with that because there seems to be a lot of shit that happens at this school that is mysterious and magical.
It's true. I think that maybe England is more magically advanced than America because it's an older country. Right?
Yeah, how does that work with
You never
just
see
in general?
You never
in
see
Harry
any
Potter,
talk
like,
of, and I don't know anything about this. Maybe you do. Yeah, like
I
think you were
don't.
getting to see. I think you were about to say.
Yeah.
What about America? What's going on
Yeah.
in the new world in fucking Harry Potter land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on anywhere else in the world, really, other than the UK?
It's not like everything is British in the world. England's a small island. You've been there. I never been there, but
Yeah, I've been there. But yeah, I mean, it's a good question to ask. I'm sure all the potheads out there can probably get back to us on that. Maybe they know. Maybe they don't. I'm sure JK has touched on it on Twitter at the very least.
It's such a it has to have come up because it's I mean,
well, actually, where do the prequels take place?
I mean, let's be real. America rules, so it's to have us not come up in the
and the UK drools. All right,
in the lore, it'd be sacrilege. What were you saying?
I was saying that I'm trying to remember where the prequel movies take place.
Oh, I have no idea.
You know, like what the hell is it called? Fantastic Beasts. Those ones.
Everyone in the trailers that I've seen has had a British accent, so.
British. So well, I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one that has Johnny Depp in it. Johnny Depp just got canned from that role too.
Oh, he got canned from just about every role, didn't he? Which is a shame.
Yeah, that suit was something else.
Seems like he got done dirty, but he's probably not a great guy.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, he probably is a douchebag in real life, but from what I heard from the case,
she seems like she's insane though.
Yeah,
but what
it seemed like a chaotic relationship to be in.
No doubt, he's definitely got to get help because he's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Susie breaks up with Loomer in this episode.
That is true.
That's one of the first things that happens.
Finally, 12 episodes in.
Right. To this season. Plus last
I've been waiting for it. We've been calling for them to be broken up.
Well, it's been and I bet they'll get back together because they're just that type of couple, I think.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I bet like next episode or the episode after that, there's going to be an arc of them getting back together. Ned's like, oh, I fucking missed my chance.
Yeah, because in this
episode, get real, Ned.
In this episode, basically, Ned is trying to get the rebound on Susie after she's broken up. And no mistake, Loomer doesn't break up with Susie. Susie breaks up with Loomer.
Yeah.
We see it happen.
We do see it happen, and it's kind of sad, and I thought there was going to be more sadness played on it for Billy. He looked a little bit down.
I think he's going to bounce back quicker than she will.
Well, he did bounce back. I mean, in recycling episode, he seemed fine. He was doing his normal thing.
Well, he had a mission. He had a goal. They gave him
He did. He was leading a pack of people.
As he's meant to. As he does.
Yeah, he's an alpha.
He's meant to be the alpha.
Ned, there's a couple more tips too in the beginning.
Frame. Obviously, Ned is there to witness this breakup, and so he's like celebrating. He's like, "Yeah!" There's like a Chariots of Fire freeze frame of Ned jumping in celebration. That was pretty sick.
That was a good part. That was right before they do the little title screen. But before that, we did get a couple more tips. It was the first one was figure out what you're going to say. And then number 2 was pick your spot properly, like making sure that you're asking someone out in a good area. They showed the good area as like outside and then the bad one as in the gym because the eye patch guy got like decked by a ball nailed, or something.
Yeah. He didn't have peripheral vision in that eye. That was the fucking...
Yeah,
or really, to be fair, any vision in that eye at all. So that was the problem there.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing him in the background before. Is he a character that we've seen before?
There's been character with eye patch in background before. I know that for a fact. Was it this guy? I don't know. This guy was Asian. He happened to be. So I don't remember if the previous eye patch character was or not. Or maybe it was the same guy or maybe it was a different guy. But either way, from a just who's the set person that would be costuming, I guess, that would be involved with that decision?
Costumes. Yeah.
What a bizarre decision. Unless that guy in real life, that kid just happens not to have an eye.
Maybe he does. Maybe he just has an eye patch.
And he happens to also, he's like, nah, don't give me a glass eye and don't give me like the modern looking eye patch. Give me the pirate style Halloween eye patch. That's what I want to wear.
Well, their whole costume department is made up of essentially Party City. I mean, we know that.
Yeah, that's where they shop for their shit when they need something like for someone to be looking ridiculous. Another tip of his was to get an ambassador.
Yes, the ambassador tip, which is interesting.
It becomes a main...
That's a very interesting way to do it.
It becomes a main thing. Like that tip really he leans heavily on because his first ambassador that he goes with is Cookie. He realizes that was a bad idea because Cookie just starts talking about his own self and his technology and shit. He's talking about a phone. He's bragging about his phone, right?
Bragging about... Well, no, he's talking about Susie's phone.
Susie's phone.
About all the stats that it has on it.
Oh, he gets distracted by... He's like, look at your phone.
Yeah, he was like, it's got a whole gigabyte of memory. It's like, whoa.
He said
buddy.
1 gigabyte. Yes.
Yeah. That's a lot of storage.
Think about it.
But yeah, the ambassador thing is kind of weird. I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable with someone being like that type of ambassador for me.
I mean,
you're gonna ask somebody out for me,
right? It's like a wingman, except for more.
Yeah, wingman is classic. All right, wingman helps you out in ways, but doesn't directly ask the person out for you.
Yeah, this is like a fixer.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on.
Like if this was a movie, Vince Vaughn would play this character.
Yeah, for who? Who would be the other guy?
What's the other guy from Swingers?
Is it Owen Wilson? No, that's Wedding Crashers.
No.
That's what I was thinking of.
No, yeah, Owen Wilson would be good too, because that's a classic duo.
Yeah. So that's that.
Or like Ben Stiller would be.
But
the
yeah,
other
Mose.
guy.
I'm sorry, Cookie is not good, but Ned wants Mose to be. He's like, who'd be a good one to have, Mose.
Yeah, I mean she's stable, smart.
Right, but Mose wants to ask Seth out because Mose still has a crush on Seth.
Yeah, that whole thing is still happening this episode, and I do remember his jokes from this episode too. Those have like stayed with me.
This episode is a great Seth episode.
Yeah, it is. I mean, my very last line that I wrote for this episode is just, I respect the hell out of Seth.
Well, I wrote Seth as becoming one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's great. I don't remember that from when I originally watched the show.
Yeah.
I remembered, which is weird, because like I remembered liking Gordy a lot more and not really having an opinion on Seth. And now I like Seth, and Gordy's kind of a bastard.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I like Gordy in that it's great to make fun of him and, like, talk about him. But, like, he's definitely an asshole and, like, is bad in a lot of ways as far as morality and his effect on people in the show.
Gordy is really just what Ned is going to become in the future. It's just Ned looking through an age mirror.
I think that's why they get along so well.
Is that, you think that's one of those like theories that people have, like, oh, spooky Nickelodeon theories list, top 10?
I like.
You think that's on?
No,
there?
my theory is that Gordy had an affair with Ned's mother at some point in the past, and is actually Ned's father, and he knows this. Ned doesn't know this, of course. They.
I like that. Yeah, I like that theory.
So that's where I'm going. That's what I like to think.
I think that's pretty good.
Because it fits into the Gordy being a womanizer narrative.
Yep, it does. Fits in with them being friends. Like, why else would a grown-ass man be friends with a group of kids?
Yeah, and then they're, like you said, there's similarities.
Yeah.
Mose actually asks Seth out, and he accepts this invitation. They walk outside to the courtyard area that people like to hang out. We still don't know where this is in the layout of the school exactly.
Yeah,
Is it out back?
Some sort of courtyard.
Is it out front? Is it in the middle somewhere?
That's what I want to believe. I want to believe it's in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, because we had that in my middle school that I went to in Dunedin.
We had it in mine as well.
Yeah, it was like the school is a building, like a fortress around the middle of the outside.
It was. With fencing on the outside like a prison.
Yeah, exactly. You can't leave. You can't fucking leave. Don't think about leaving, dude.
It's well guarded.
If you want to leave, you need documentation.
Were you there with me the one time when we were leaving high school, and like one of the like vice principals or whatever like came rearing up to us on his golf cart and was like, whoa, what are you guys doing leaving?
No.
We were going to early college.
No, I was not
SBC.
there because I probably wasn't going.
He was fucking pissed. He was livid. It must have been me and Ked then.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people would leave. People would definitely skip school. I mean, more in high school, I'm sure, than in middle school because people had cars and shit.
Yeah.
So you could
people might have been leaving middle school, you know? It's your whole day. It's like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's such a weird schedule.
I mean, like, if you were awesome, you'd dip, but like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you'd dip and you'd like bum a cigarette from somebody.
Cookie has a cool look this whole episode that you point out. He's got pleated khakis, a polo tucked into him.
and like a really bright orange polo with the single stripe, right? It's a single striper, right?
Yeah, I think so. I want to say that sounds right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like the same shade as like a traffic cone.
Oh, but Mose and Seth go outside, and then Seth is like, "Wow, this is dope. We're outside. All right, see ya. Thanks for going out with me." And then he's like, Mose is like, "Well, what the hell?" So that was one great Seth joke. A lot of his jokes are very like old school, like
they're like dad jokes.
Conversation, like Abbott and Costello / Tom and or a Cheech and Chong comedy. Where he's just like not understanding what the other person is saying, you know?
Yeah.
And it's classic, I feel.
Yeah, no, it is really good because the second one that we get is when Mose decides to use Ned as an ambassador, and Ned asks Seth out on a date. Well, he says can Mose what does he say? Can Mose have a date with you? Or something like that, and he like hands him a date.
Mose would like
like the date, fruit,
and he's like, she can have one. And yeah, he holds up a single date, and like a definition shows up on the screen and says date.
It's so good.
Like a dried apricot or whatever it is. Like it was like a long paragraph. I couldn't read it. I didn't pause it. But
when it went by in a second,
it was not on the screen for long.
It was like 5 frames.
It was a great joke.
Oh man, it's so good. That one was really fucking.
This was a good episode. Really, it puts the second half to absolute shame.
It really does. I'm gonna rate them so differently.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, so there's also another plot line where Professor Xavier wants Cookie to help her try to ask Gordy out, or to get Gordy to like her. So Cookie's like trying to fix them up and like has her dress differently and does all this shit. Also we get a little bit of Gordy like sexually harassing a kid.
Yeah,
in the
we didn't
hallway.
talk about that. I think that must be when Xavier's talking to Cook about how much she wants.
It's right.
Wants him.
Yeah, it's right in the beginning.
She just
it's right
wants
when she
him
first
more than
starts
anything.
talking about it. Yeah, he slaps a kid in the ass with his mop as he's walking by.
Yeah, and the kid turns around and he's like, "What the hell? What was?" Come on, man.
Can you imagine though? You'd have a fucking wet ass.
Yeah, this 30-year-old something guy that looks like he's, late 40s, early 50s. Really, he's not a healthy looking guy, but this guy,
he's so tan.
This Guido, he slaps you with a mop. That'd be terrible.
That's just so ridiculous. Could you imagine that happening and then walking around with a wet ass all day?
Yeah, no. You're like, what do I report this guy?
Yeah, we didn't even get any intervention with the vice principal.
No.
Vice principal.
He wasn't in either one of these episodes. That's a good thing to bring up.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
Yeah, Professor Xavier's like, I wear boots. Do you think he likes the boots?
That was a really good impression. That was really good. But yeah,
and then Cookie goes on a pants pull. That's what he says. He says, "I'm doing a pants pull," because that's what he calls everything because all his technology is integrated into his pants apparently.
Yeah,
and he asks Gordy, "What do you want?" He's like, "What do you want in a woman?" And Gordy was like, "I like, you got to be able to cook and clean. You got to have a big rack. You got to, he goes off on this.
Fucking Gordy, dude.
There's a scene. He's got a
Gordy,
golf club.
What is
the golf club about? Do you remember what the point of that was?
Well, yeah, Gordy is he's trying to beat his course record of the school golf course. That's just the hallways. So he's using his like garbage cart or cleaning cart or whatever you want to call it as his caddy.
Yeah.
And we get like a weird, bizarrely, like they wanted it to be a 3D element of the show with the golf club that we had to go back for.
Well, the whole scene is shot like it's in 3D because the first thing is he whips the golf club out and it gets big, like it comes close to the camera, but like in a digital way, it gets enlarged.
Yeah.
And then it goes back small. Then, of course, he hits the golf ball and the golf ball goes into the camera and then out of frame.
Yeah,
So
and it is like something that you'd see in an early 2000s children's 3D movie.
yeah, like Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which they're coming out with a sequel.
Exactly.
He's coming out.
What?
Robert Rodriguez. Yeah.
Really?
You know what he didn't get though? He didn't get Taylor Lautner.
No Lautner. What about George Lopez?
I don't know about George Lopez, but I think it's the same girl. I think it's the same girl that played Lava Girl.
Really?
They had a kid.
Interesting.
They had a kid, and the kid is called Guppy. So.
What the fuck?
So that's your daily dose of cancer for today.
Why is he doing that?
Because he likes money. I don't know. Who's gonna buy that?
How
though?
much money could he?
Who's
How
gonna
much
buy
money
that,
could
though,
he
right?
possibly
Exactly.
make?
Yeah. No, it's a children's movie because it's gonna make some amount of money by default. You know what I mean?
You think so?
I think that's the thing with children's movies is there's always because people don't give, no one really cares if it's good or bad, because it's a fucking children's movie, right? Right or wrong?
Well,
come on.
I think there's an in-between there because some children's movies transcend age and time.
Of course, you're correct. You are right, but I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong because there's depending on the age.
He likes to make trash, shitty children's movies. That's his thing.
Some of them are classic.
Some of them are classic.
I mean, we have to say it. Original Spy Kids, and the second one.
Doesn't mean it's not also bad in like a real way.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. You know.
But that was that scene. During the part, I think Ned hires on Lisa Zemo then to become the ambassador.
Weird move.
To ask Susie out. She asked Susie out, or she thinks.
Well, before that, he also gets Martin Corley to do it.
Oh yeah, he really cycles through just every fucking auxiliary character in his life.
No Coconut Head though. Coconut Head's not in either episode.
That's a good point to bring up.
Which is maybe the first time that's ever happened.
Maybe he had the flu this week.
Maybe they were in contract negotiations.
I want $1 million. He throws the wig on the table.
He was trying to get it, dude.
He's like, you want me to wear this fucking thing? He throws it across the room. You're making a fool of myself. What am I going to do?
The agent's trying to hold him back.
Yeah. And now he's a DJ.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to suck for him, though, because he can't play at these festivals and shit now, right?
They're doing online ones, though, right?
Silent discos.
And some countries are doing festivals.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Florida's doing, Florida rules. We're doing, it's wide open.
Our states,
wide open throttle here, dude.
Are they?
Come on.
Yeah, but they're not doing events
No. Ned ends up asking Seth on a date inadvertently, and they go on one.
They do.
At the end of the episode, as they walk off, arm in arm, basically.
That was another great moment.
It was a great moment, a great Seth moment, because that's
he's like, I'll pick you up.
Well, him asking him out,
yeah,
that is a whole little scene in and of itself, which is like a verbal comedy Marx Brothers routine, where Seth is not understanding exactly what is being asked of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Seth comedy stuff's classic. Then that's when we get the Professor X song, which is great. Her seduction song. She serenades Gordy with an accordion and sings in her bizarre Germanic, Russian, Ukrainian accent. I've lost Jake.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, he's here.
I'm just trying to fix my camera.
So you can hear what I'm saying. You've been hearing me.
Yeah. I can hear exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So that all's been going on.
I accidentally kicked the wire of my camera somehow.
Yeah, his camera went out, but he can still talk, so we're good. She serves him borscht and herring, which obviously doesn't sound delicious to a Western palate.
Yeah, no, I mean, they make it seem grosser than it actually is, though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, borscht is beet soup, so I mean beets are very earthy and it's a very strong acquired taste, so a lot of people don't like beets, and that's fair.
Yeah.
Herring is of course fish. It's probably greasy fish. It's probably canned or some shit, so that is what it is, but salty. But again, I don't know where she's supposed to be from, because borscht is a European thing. Herring, I feel like, is a European broadly, also British thing in general. Jake's got the camera.
Yeah, I've never had herring.
No, but I think it's like a bigger
Salty, right?
It's like a bigger sardine.
Yeah, that's
It's like a kipper.
that's my understanding.
It's like
as
what
well.
Nigel Thornberry used to eat.
Man, that's a great show. That's one that I really need to revisit because I have not fucking seen that shit in an eternity.
That'd be a good podcast for sure. I mean, I think that would be one that would get a lot of traffic.
You think so?
I think that would get more traffic than the Ned podcast. I'm sorry to say.
Whoa!
And I love.
Whoa.
Obviously, I'm doing the Ned podcast. We chose to do the Ned podcast. We're gonna do the Ned podcast until it's fucking finished into the earth, like the Drake and Josh podcast.
Exactly.
But, like,
running.
Yeah. I definitely watched the hell out of the Thornberrys as well.
I did too, but I remember so little of it.
It was an earlier time period.
Yeah, it was definitely early. But so is like the Rugrats, and I remember a lot of the Rugrats a lot more than the Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's weird.
While and I was getting into the scene with Zemo asking Susie on Ned's behalf. Susie has this earbud in, like, or a Bluetooth, I guess, headset in ear thing that Cookie has provided to her, to where she can talk on the phone with her, like, her friends on other sides of the earth. I guess I don't know who she's talking to.
I have no idea who the fuck she's talking to.
But yeah, she was just talking on the phone, so she didn't hear a word that Lisa said to her.
No.
So yeah, that didn't happen. As far as Susie's concerned.
Mm-mm. But Ned does eventually get the chance to ask Susie out, and she gives him the big
blah, blah, blah,
NO.
That'll happen. She's like, well, listen, Ned, I kind of just broke up with Loomer, so it's kind of fucked up that you're asking me right now to go out.
Yeah, and it is.
And he's like, ooh.
He was going in for the rebound.
He's like,
but
ooh,
she
I was so
wasn't in,
thirsty,
you
I
know.
didn't even put two and two together to realize that was kind of a bad move.
Yeah, so, bad on you, Ned, but at least he gets to go out with Seth.
Yeah.
But Mose also gets to go out with Seth because she's able to finally ask him out by breaking up with him first, and then they go out.
Yeah. As far as Professor X and the handsome cleaning man, I
don't remember their conclusion.
I don't remember. You know what's crazy? I don't remember their conclusion either. How is that possible?
I think that Gordy is down. I can't
imagine he's not down, especially based on the lore that we've built up around him.
Yeah, he's like down to clown. Like, there's gonna be some fucked up shit happening.
He is a salty dog.
You know what I bet? I bet he fucking lives on a houseboat, dude.
Yeah, he could live on a houseboat.
I bet he lives on like a really shitty, beat up houseboat
on some sort of an inlet where this town is located.
Yeah.
Whatever town this
a little
this
dock.
happens in.
Oh, dude, he seems like that kind of guy because of how tan he is.
Yeah, he's tan.
But that's basically the ep. What are you thinking about giving this one, Kirk?
I guess I'm gonna give it like an 8. I don't know. Sure.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm pretty close. I think I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Nice.
I think it was really solid. I think it was good. It was really funny. Seth was great. Yeah, no, it was pretty decent, and I just liked it a lot more than the next part, which we'll jump right into.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, so we're cycling. It's basically about a competition, though. A recycling competition, but a competition.
Yes. Yeah. So actually, the first thing that I want to get into with this one is the gang rides up on their bicycles in the beginning of the episode. All the crew, Ned, Mose, and Cook.
Yes.
And so my question right off the bat is, what the fuck is going on here? Are they riding their bicycles to school? I thought they rode the bus to school.
I also thought they rode the bus to school. This is a bit of a lore error, I would say.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it doesn't quite make sense. I don't know what's going on.
Right off the bat,
maybe the bus was like just not coming that day, so they all had to ride the bikes.
School buses don't have the bicycle thing up on front like a city bus has, where you can mount a bicycle on.
No,
it doesn't have that.
Definitely not. That'd be sick, though.
Yeah, but every kid.
Why don't they?
Because every kid would just be like, "Yeah, I want to take my bike to school," so that would have to have 12.
There's just 1,000 of them on front.
Yeah, right. That's probably it.
Yeah, that would happen.
But yeah, it's the recycling awareness program, which this is another very, I feel, California episode, especially in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, hey, how are we going to get these kids to want to recycle? Let's give them a dope mountain bike. Whoever brings in the most recyclables. Which, think about it. If that was ran, this contest would just not work today. It just wouldn't be a thing, right?
No.
Bring in the most
work.
net weight of recyclables, and we will give you a prize. That's an insane contest.
Yeah, it is kind of strange. Because, like, even if you bring in the most quantity, depending on what the recyclable type is, it may not weigh a lot. Like, if you're bringing in all plastic jugs, like Cook he just wanted to do that.
Sure, the density of the thing is going to come into play.
They're not going to weigh anything. But if you bring in a bunch of glass, because
Yes.
glass is also an easily recycled thing, that shit's going to weigh so much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You got to game the system, and nobody was bringing in glass.
It's on its face. It's an absurd contest. It's nonsense. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a nonsense contest. But, yeah, I mean, I in middle school in 2006, recycling had not hit me as a thing that was really widespread yet. I mean, there were recycling bins around.
Yeah.
Like that you could throw like water bottles into and stuff like that, but like,
Man,
you know, it wasn't a thing that like was at my house or anything.
yeah, I was in New York. In middle school for half of it, and then I was in Florida for half of it. And yeah, I can't even say if I can remember for sure about what it was like back before in like pre-2008 times. The
Yeah.
availability of recycling, like zones and things.
Yeah, in upstate New York.
Yeah, I think it was like this probably. It was probably like they're trying to get you on board. They're trying to reel you in. They're trying to get you to familiarize you as a child with the word of it to be like, in the future, this is going to be more of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I didn't get real into recycling until I lived with you and Kellen in college. Because, I mean, as an apartment, since we all lived together, we always had like a shitload of recycling.
Yeah.
But like before that, it wasn't a thing for me at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at apartments,
It's just kind of,
apartments make it easy.
bad on me.
Apartments do make it easy because it's like they have usually a zone for recycling shit to go out, as well as the trash.
Yeah, sometimes, not always.
Or at least the trash is taken out for you. Like you don't have to deal with that.
Well, yeah.
So, but that's just
so
because
thank
none
you,
of us
Kellen,
have owned a house.
for making me a recycler.
None of us have been homeowners yet, so that's the prize though is a sick mountain bike because the gang we find out everybody's got a whack ass bike. Everybody needs new wheels.
Yeah, everybody's bike is falling apart. What kind of bike did you have as a kid? I always had like BMX style bikes, not mountain bikes.
Man, I guess they would have been more tactically mountain style bikes. I was never a huge bike kid. I never rode bikes around town with kids
until high school.
I was hanging out with you, and then we were riding your parents' bikes. So
Yeah,
that's what we were
you
doing.
would ride around.
And those were sick.
My mom's beach cruiser.
Those were quality. Those were Treks. Those were nice bikes.
Yeah, they were really nice bikes. My parents invested in bikes.
I was never a bike
I don't even remember
kid
when that
though.
was.
Like before that, yeah, not. I mean, like I had like just kind of children's bikes, really, and then like I had scooters and shit, but I didn't ride them around. I
Yeah.
mostly just rode them on a driveway.
Yeah. We would always ride ours around, but that's just because of like the proximity to the trail from my parents' house.
Ah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. You got to have a bike-friendly neighborhood to live in. Bike-friendly.
You
town.
do, that's true. We were also on a dead-end street, so not many people were driving down it, so we could ride around.
There you
go. But yeah, so they need a bike bad. Whose falls apart completely? Is it Moses that just absolutely disintegrates?
It's Moses or Cookies. I don't remember which one.
Ned's doesn't though, right?
One of them's in
why
much
does
worse.
Ned need one again?
Yeah, right. One of them's in much worse shape than the other. I just want a new bike. My bike sucks.
Oh no. It's because he doesn't have brakes. I think is what Mose says.
I don't have brakes. Do they come in like fast?
They
Like,
come in hot.
and they like roll
He
off of
should've.
it.
What he should have done is came in at full speed at the bike rack and like done a flip over the handlebars
Or crash.
as like the ragdoll body thing that they always use.
Yeah, some sort of.
That would have been really good.
That would have been a prime place for a ragdoll body.
Right in the beginning, the first 2 seconds of the episode.
Yes.
That's how they introduced recycling.
Well, because it's the first half of the second episode, so you got to keep people hooked. Otherwise, they're gonna go over to Cartoon Network or something.
Because I was not hooked. I was about to change the fucking channel.
No, you know what I never did though? I never changed the channel from fucking Nickelodeon to Cartoon Network. I feel like that never
No,
happened.
I didn't either. No. The only time I ever did it was to watch like Adult Swim.
I never did that even. Like I experimented with Cartoon Network very minimally.
Yeah,
Sometimes
same. I pretty much stayed on Nickelodeon.
Like, so, you tune in for like something every now and then you get, the Courage the Cowardly Dog comes on, you get scared, you're like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah, that show's too spooky.
Right. Exactly.
It's too surreal.
I mentioned that basically this episode, it's like the gang does hobo stuff. That's what they're doing, is they're collecting bags of. They might as well be all pushing around shopping carts of things. They're all.
Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't do that gag.
I don't know. That would have been too on the nose.
You know?
Cookie only collects gallon water bottles for some reason, and he links them together on his person.
Yeah, gallon water bottles.
And he eventually creates, like, just a mass of them, which becomes like modern art. And
at least it does in the eyes of some of the an art critic and like who is it, Mr. Wright?
Also a buyer. They have a buyer.
Yeah, a buyer lady. She seems like a bitch though. I mean, let's be real.
She's
like,
a real
so what happens is that the like they have the whole mob of recyclers that Billy is leading. Eventually, throughout the episode, they're attacking people for the recyclables. But eventually, towards the end, they see the modern art piece and they steal it. And then the art dealer lady, after she was about to write Cookie a $10K check, is all pissed off at him and like makes a face at him and starts ripping that bitch up and throws it at him.
So basically, Mr. Wright has, I'm gonna say, questionable taste in art. So he sees great.
Yeah, I mean,
he sees great genius.
Modern art's not the best.
I'm not a fan of modern art either. Broadly speaking, if I had to say categorically, obviously some modern art's going to be great, but like, just when you think of modern art, what is modern art? You think like, oh yeah, it's probably a bunch of gallon water bottles like glued together into a mass that looks like a boulder. Which is what Cookie creates, and people find to be genius, including Mr. Wright and the art critic, and then, like we said, the buyer. I think the price is $10,000 is put on this piece.
Yeah, $10K.
Of the breakout artist, Cookie.
The art dealer, though, is great. He's played by, what was the guy's name? Nolan North. Primarily known for being a voice actor. He's been in 421 things, according to IMDb.
When Cookie is in art mode, and I guess basically it's classic. He's wearing, all black. He's got the turtleneck look.
Yeah, Steve Jobs. Well, actually, no.
It's an Andy Warhol look,
so
really,
not
is I think what it is.
That's true. That is true.
The modern art. Yeah, modern art. The most modern art. And Ned goes in drag at one point.
Yeah, because that is because apparently Cookie GPS tracks a shitload of things. One of them being the guide. One of them being Mr. Sweeney.
He's just put tracking on stuff.
Yeah, he put a chip inside Mr. Sweeney like he's a dog.
Yeah. Sweeney's been chipped.
Right in the
I wonder
ass.
how he did it.
Hard to say. Probably found him passed out in the teacher's lounge from all the fucking drugs they were doing in there.
He was in a K-hole.
Stuck a chip in his a K-hole. He couldn't move. His body was paralyzed.
He was in another world.
He was aware of what was happening, but he was paralyzed.
Well, I mean, he thought it was like some sort of a jaguar shaman doing it to him, but it was actually just Cookie.
Man.
The crew, though, like you said, not Gordy, Loomer, he's leading. It's like a post-apocalyptic gang of marauders that goes around, recycle! And they steal your shit. They run through.
Yeah, it's always the same shot. It starts with Billy pointing,
Yes.
saying recycle, and then people coming together to form like a
You
two-person
might
line.
as well say Outlander.
And yeah. Outlander's nice. Shout out Children of the Corn and Malachi.
They are degraded to the point where they're recycling recycled recyclables. So they're taking things out of the recycle bin, the labeled recycle bin, which, I mean, at this point, if you're throwing shit in the labeled recycle bin during this contest time, I mean, you're just a fool. You could sell that. You could sell that for dollars. US dollars.
Yeah.
I bet these kids would pay you for recyclable things.
They would steal it. They wouldn't pay.
This was a boom bubble of recyclables at the school. True. That's what that was. They created it intentionally.
I'm surprised there weren't more dealings like in the
more
underground
arbitrage
recyclable world. Yeah,
I know. At the weigh-in, Sweeney is doing the weigh-in, right? So he's basically the showrunner of the contest. It seems like. So the first person to weigh in.
But also before this,
yeah.
did we mention that that Ned lost the guide? That was the reason why he was in drag.
Ned lost the guide. That's right. So he misplaces the guide, and then Loomer does a run on him. They steal all his shit. He's like, "Oh shit! I think I got the guide mixed in with the recyclables. Was the guide recycled?" That's when they go into the vents.
Yeah, you always go into the vents.
So Gordy and Ned go into the vents, and they see that the weasel has an entire nest of stolen things, which it would have because ferrets / weasels like to steal things. That's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah. Are they burrowers?
No, they just like to steal things and hide them away. So if you ever know anyone that has owned a ferret and ask them about this, they'll probably say, yeah, they like to do this. So
one of my neighbors that I grew up with that lived across the street had 3 ferrets as a kid.
Wow, that's crazy. 3?
It stunk.
Well, I mean, 3 is asking for stink.
Yeah, I mean, they're vermin.
If you have one of them, I mean, it's like you can get away with one of them maybe if you have a well ventilation. Maybe. My uncle used to have one.
Bizarre.
It was a cool thing, you know.
Really?
Nice. It's always cool when someone has an animal that's not just a cat or a dog. I mean, let's be real. It's exotic. That's why they're called exotic animals.
Yeah,
Whether or not it's right
cool,
morally, I think a ferret is fine. Like, it's better than a monkey. I think a monkey is morally wrong to hold as a pet, probably.
I agree with that. I don't think that's a very good idea.
No, it's not a good idea, whether or not it's morally wrong.
I'm more down just to, a nice cat.
Yeah, cats are where it's at.
Or a nice dog,
Dogs are solid. But Loomer and friends, they weigh in together, obviously, the 3 of them, which is questionable. I don't know how they're going to split that bike. I think if Loomer had his way,
yeah, that shit makes no
Loomer's
sense.
going to take a Sawzall and just cut the bike into 3 parts, and they're going to each get a third of the bike like that. And they'll
do that thing where they're like, yeah, and they're banging the parts together.
they beat the shit out of each other with the bike parts. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
But they weigh in at 17 pounds collective amount of stuff. Not bad.
Yeah. Mose, before this, dresses up like a teacher.
Yes, that's right.
And goes into the teacher's lounge and collects multiple bags full of recyclables and weighs in. One thing that I want to know though is that since they're just throwing trash bags into this big scale,
right?
Couldn't they just be full of trash?
They could
not actually.
Well,
recyclables?
rocks, lead, whatever's the densest shit that you can put into there. Just whatever you can put.
Go to the lunchroom and grab the trash bags out of the kitchen. Those are gonna be heavy as shit, full of raw meat and stuff. Poof, toss that
Sweeney
in.
is not opening these bags. He's not picking through shit. He's not looking at it at all.
He doesn't care. He just likes the map.
He likes the idea of being the guy that's going to give someone a bike as a prize. He thinks it's going to make him the good person. And in a way,
it's not.
Well, I mean, it's going to make a kid happy, but is it going to be the right kid? Was it all fair? No.
Definitely wasn't fair.
He didn't do his due diligence. So.
Sweeney's kind of a bastard, isn't he?
You know what? Sweeney is a good guy. That's what I think.
You think so?
I think that he's got a good heart. I think that he's misled in a lot of ways for one reason or another.
I think he's very misled. I mean, that's fair, but like he is always doing shit that's so questionable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's confusing. He's very confusing.
Like, is he evil or not?
Right.
Can someone give me a hard and fast answer?
I don't know.
It can't be answered. I think he's got too many dimensions as a character, which is a good thing.
It is a good thing. He's complex. He's like it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll compare him to Snape.
It's a great. Yeah, I mean that's. It's a great parallel there.
Yeah.
Great comparison.
The plot twist of the episode.
So Mose throws in. She's got a shitload.
Oh yeah, so she gets 29 pounds. She weighs in 29 pounds. That's what she's got.
Yeah.
But then the plot twist of the episode, of course. So we mentioned the weasel has this stash of stuff in the vents. This stash just happens to be located exactly above the trough, the weight bucket that is above the scale that Sweeney is using to measure placement. The winning stuff. So, as often happens with the vent stuff, they crash to the ceiling. The ceiling cannot hold the weight of...
That happens every time.
Of a grown man, a weasel, a small boy, and 60 pounds worth of shit. Which is what wins the weasel the contest. Is 60 pounds worth of recyclables.
Yeah, the weasel wins.
Including Ned's journal, which has been stolen by the weasel and is returned to him.
Yes.
So that's basically the wrap up of that episode, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? It was. I don't know, man. I don't even know where to place this episode because I feel like when we were talking about it, I was like, maybe it wasn't that bad, but like when I was watching it, I was like, man, that was way worse than the first episode. I gave the first one a 7.5. I think I'll give this one. I'll give it a solid 6.
Yeah.
I wanted to go 5.5, but I'm not gonna go that low. A 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do the same in 6. That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Right on. I think that's fair. You know. But yeah, altogether, not too bad, you know, as an episode, if you weigh those two scores together.
All in all.
But yeah, it was a good time. And, you got any final thoughts or anything, Kirk?
No, I'm saying it's still going good here in the Nedverse. Maybe we'll get a guest on next episode. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a live one next. Who knows? You've got kind of a fucked schedule now, so it's going to be hard to do live episodes for a little while.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult probably to get people on, too.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But who knows, though? You never know. But yeah, we'll catch you guys for the next Ned pod.
And if you're listening,
stay Nedding.
And if you're listening from the Ned's Declassified subreddit, shout out. And if you're listening on YouTube, shout out. If you listen on podcast apps, shout out, of course. And if you want to call out at Lindsay Shaw, I think it's Lady Shosters on Instagram. That's at Devin Works Harder, aka Devin Work Heiser, at Daniel Curtis Lee on Instagram. Get these guys on the pod. We need to get these guys on the pod. I think it's attainable. So.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah, peace out, guys. Catch you for the next Ned pod.